Hi, Trevs. It's Coach Al.
I'm Coach Dana.
And now we're going to show you what we do almost every single practice on the 18U team, and that we are going to start seeing our younger teams do, and that is what we call the Northwestern Drill. And the reason we call it Northwestern is because it's the everyday drill that Northwestern University uses for their softball team. And we've adapted and adopted portions of it for our program and our teams. Most, if not all, of the players have done some of this already during the indoor winter season, so it shouldn't be too unfamiliar. But we're going to run through it real quickly. It's something you can do in a confined area, small space, but you need to do it on a surface that has probably some carpeting and a firm floor underneath. I wouldn't do it on a bare floor. We're going to be doing some short hops and skipping the ball a little bit. And I think that would mark up the floors, and maybe mom and dad won't be too happy about that. So we're going to try to find an indoor surface that has some carpet and a little bit of firmness underneath it. And now we're going to run through the sequence of the Northwestern Drill. Okay, so here's how we do the Northwestern Drill. The first we're going to do is Dana's actually going to get down on her knees. Stand up for a second though, Dana. We want the players to be in a good athletic position. So they're going to set their feet as if they were standing, and then they're just going to get down on their knees. So remain in a good athletic position. And what Dana's going to do first is receive some rolled ground balls and come through it with the bare hand of her glove hand. Notice how she has her head nice and low so she can watch the ball into her hand. The kids can think about keeping their nose and their glove hand attached to one another. That's a good device to remind it. And we're just going to practice receiving and coming through the ball cleanly. Now she's going to turn, and we're going to work on a forehand. Same concept. Her legs are going to be as if she were standing up, and we're just going to roll some forehand ground balls, and she's going to come through and receive those grounders. We'll do about 3 each. So one more on the forehand. Now we're going to turn backhand. Dana's going to do backhand here. This is the toughest part. You got to let the ball get to you. And what you want to do is make sure you keep a firm wrist. Dana, show a firm wrist. And then here the hinge is going to be the elbow. If we get our wrist too soft and floppy, we won't be able to field the ball. So we want to keep the wrist firm, use the elbow as the hinge, and just kind of come through the ball after we let it get to us. Now we put our glove on, and we run through the same sequence, exact same sequence with our glove on. We're going to do some rolled ground balls right at her. She's going to work on coming through the ball, keeping her fingers down on the ground. The tips of her glove should be right on the top of the playing surface. Now we're going to go to the forehand side. She's going to receive forehand grounders. Working that. And turn and take the backhand grounders. 1, 2. See how she lets the ball get to her? She's not getting it out in front too far. 2, 3. Okay. Now we're going to do short hops. So our 10s might not want to do short hops. They're a little more challenging, but our 12s and 14s could practice short hopping. And the trick on short hops is to make sure that we go from low to high. So Dana's going to start low, and she's going to come up to the ball to meet the angle of the hop. 1, 2, one more, 3. And we'll do a forehand short hop. 1, 2, and notice how she's coming through the ball. 3, now the backhand short hop, which is the toughest one. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Coming through the ball from behind. Now we're going to do the exact same sequence on our feet. So we're going to get up. We're going to be a good athletic infielder now on our feet. And we're going to start with rolled grounders right at her. She's got a nice low flat back. Forehand side. Turning those feet to receive the ground ball on the forehand side. 2, 3. And ground balls to the backhand side again, keeping a firm wrist and letting the elbow act as the hinge. And the last sequence are the short hops. Right at her, 2 and 3. On the forehand side, 1, 2, and one more. Here's 3. And these are the tough ones, the backhand short hops. These are the toughest ones to field. 1, 2, 3. Very good. You can do this as many times as you'd like. I would recommend maybe doing, 3 each to start. But this is a great drill for working on small glove work, Your fielder will improve immensely by working on this drill and will become a much better infielder. And before we go, the last thing we're going to do, which we want you to do now, every day when you're practicing, is take a little bit of hand sanitizer when you're done and wash your hands. We'll catch you next time.